The humpback anglerfish. December 24, 1863. A naturalist named James Johnson pulls a fish out of the waters off Madeira that looks like nothing anyone has ever classified. Scientists later named the entire family after it. Melanocetidae, literally Black Sea monster, officially recognized in 1878. Fast forward to 1995, and that same fish lands on the cover of Time magazine, becoming the face of everything terrifying about the deep ocean. Here's why it earned that spot. She hunts 3,000 feet down using a lantern that grows straight out of her own skull. Powered by bacteria, she keeps alive inside her own skin. Her teeth curve backward like fishhooks, built so that once something's caught, it physically cannot swim back out. But the real horror story is her mate. In over 160 years of scientific collection, researchers have found exactly 8 male specimens. 8 total, ever. He's 3 centimeters long, blind to almost everything except her scent, racing against a body that wasn't built to survive long on its own. Most males never find her. She doesn't care. She just waits. The black sea devil. This fish has been swimming through the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans for millions of years, at depths up to 4,500 feet. And in all that time, across every research vessel, every trawl net, every deep-sea expedition ever recorded, marine biologists have captured it alive on camera exactly once. Not once a year. Once, period. The footage came from a remotely operated vehicle off the Canary Islands, and researchers still aren't fully sure why that particular specimen was even near the surface. One theory suggests it may have been dragged up while feeding on a fish with a gas-filled swim bladder that kept expanding as it rose. What makes her genuinely alarming isn't rarity, it's appetite. One specimen, weighing under 9 grams, was pulled up with 3 entire snipe eels stuffed inside her, a combined weight heavier than her own body. Her stomach has no size limit written into it. If it fits through the mouth, it disappears. In a world this empty of food, evolution didn't build her to be picky. It built her to never say no. The wolf trap angler. Take every terrifying feature you've heard about anglerfish so far and imagine one species that has all of them at once. That's the wolf trap angler, and marine biologists don't hesitate to call it exactly what it is: the complete anglerfish. A rod grown from bone, a line hanging off that rod, bait glowing at the tip, lit by bacteria, and hooks, rows of them, oversized dermal spines built into a jaw designed for exactly one outcome. Now here's the part that should genuinely disturb you. Its upper jaw grows so oversized, so disproportionate to the rest of its skull, that it physically folds downward like a trapdoor, sealing shut over a lower jaw that looks almost fragile by comparison. There's no chasing involved, no pursuit, no chance to escape once that trapdoor closes. Every single body part on this fish serves the same purpose. Lure it in, seal it shut. Nothing gets wasted, and nothing gets out. The triple-wart sea devil. Formerly described in 1883 off the coast of New York, from a depth of over 10,000 feet, the triple-wart sea devil is the only member of its entire genus. No close relatives, no near-identical cousins, just one fish, alone in its own scientific category. 3 glowing glands sit near her spine, each one leaking a luminous slime, giving her a triple glow that few other anglerfish possess. But the loneliness runs deeper than taxonomy. In a 2001 study tracking 600 metamorphosed females, only 6.2% had actually fused with a male. That means roughly 94 out of every 100 will spend their entire lives in total darkness, never finding a mate at all. Add to that her weak swimming ability, so weak that ocean currents drag her across entire ocean basins against her will, and you get a fish whose whole existence feels dictated by chance rather than choice. The dreamer anglerfish. In 36 years of deep-sea exploration, using ROVs that have logged more than 28,000 hours of footage, Mbari researchers have encountered this fish exactly 9 times. The most recent sighting happened on September 29, 2023, in Monterey Canyon, 2,562 feet down. When the team's cameras got close, something even stranger emerged. Lab testing revealed the dreamer anglerfish has the blackest skin ever measured on a living animal, absorbing over 99.9% of the light that touches it. It's not decoration. It's camouflage engineered to defeat other predators' own bioluminescent flashes, meaning even when something lights this fish up in total darkness, it still practically vanishes. First described back in 1871 by a Danish zoologist who thought the specimen looked too strange to be real, this fish's name literally comes from the Greek word for dream. Over 60 species now belong to its family, making it the single most diverse fish group living in the deepest layer of open ocean on Earth. The football fish. Picture a fish built exactly like its name suggests, round, leathery, armored with tiny skin spines called tubercles, drifting motionless through total darkness. But here's what separates the football fish from nearly every other creature on this list. Her males don't fuse into her body. They don't dissolve, they don't become parasites, they stay independent and free-swimming for their entire lives, a genuinely rare trait in this family where most males exist purely to be absorbed. That single difference makes the football fish an evolutionary outlier. She still hunts the same way every fish here does, patience measured in hours, a lure that outshines the void around her, and a mouth built to swallow prey that seems mathematically too large for her size. No aquarium on Earth can hold her. The pressure she survives at, over 60 times what exists at sea level, makes captivity biologically impossible.
The Pacific football fish.
Between 2,000 and 3,300 feet deep in the Pacific Ocean, this fish runs one of the most extreme reproductive strategies in the animal kingdom. Using scent organs built specifically to track a female through pitch darkness, the male locates her, bites down, and never releases his grip. What happens next reads like something out of a horror script. His eyes disappear first, then his internal organs shut down and dissolve. Eventually, all that remains is a fused mass of tissue, permanently wired into her bloodstream, existing only to supply reproductive material on command. He's no longer an individual animal. He's a biological attachment. Scientists studying this species describe it as sexual parasitism, and it isn't rare in this family. Several related anglerfish species rely on the exact same permanent fusion just to guarantee reproduction ever happens at all. Some females have even been found carrying more than one fused male at once, each one reduced to the same dependent state, silently anchored to her body for the rest of both their lives. What makes this stranger still is the biology behind it. Her immune system has to actively shut itself down to allow this fusion to happen at all, essentially disabling the very defenses that would normally reject foreign tissue trying to merge into her bloodstream. In an ocean this dark and this empty, where finding a mate even once might be a lifetime event, evolution chose permanence over risk. Once found, never let go, even if it costs one of them everything that makes it a separate creature, and even if his entire biological identity dissolves in the process, leaving behind nothing but a purpose, and a body that no longer answers to anything except hers. The striped frogfish. Every fish on this list lives buried in crushing, permanent darkness. Then there's this one, thriving in shallow tropical reefs, sometimes just a few feet below the surface, in water any snorkeler could reach without special equipment. Instead of swimming, the striped frogfish walks, using limb-like fins to crawl across the seafloor like it forgot what fish are supposed to do. Its camouflage is good enough that trained divers swim within inches of one and never notice, mistaking it for a sponge or a chunk of algae-covered debris. But the real weapon is the lure. It doesn't just glow, it moves, wiggling like a live worm to convince prey that an easy meal is crawling by. Some individuals even change their entire body color over days or weeks to match a new patch of reef, matching whatever surface they happen to settle on so precisely that identifying two frogfish as the same species becomes a real challenge for researchers working purely from photographs. And when a target finally commits, the strike is one of the fastest recorded feeding responses in any fish on the planet, closing in a fraction of a second, far too quick for the human eye to track in real time, even on slow-motion footage. No bioluminescence needed. No abyss required. Just proof that this family's core weapon, a fishing rod built directly into its own skull, works exactly the same whether it's buried a mile underwater or sitting in 10 feet of sunlit reef, waiting for something to make one wrong move.